Well, greetings viewers. This is Music is a Journey. I'm Peter. Today I want to take a look at the latest album by Ningen Isu, the Japanese heavy metal band. Their latest album called Mahoroba, which was just released in November of this year here, 2025, in case you're watching sometime in the distant future. I was almost not aware that the album was coming out because I wasn't checking to see if any albums were coming out by the band, but I had this feeling that it was about time because it's been 2 years since the last album, and they've been releasing an album every 2 years in the last 10 years or so anyway. So I knew it was coming up, and I just happened to, I don't remember what I happened to do, but I was soon on Amazon and ordering the pre-order. I remember what it was now. I went to Facebook and saw a post in the Ningen Isu International fan group, fan page, fan club, and it was by my friend David in Brazil. And David, he does these deep dives into Ningen Isu songs. He'll pick a particular song from an album and then do a hefty amount of research on the background story, not only of the song, but also how the song relates to various things, either about Japanese culture or Buddhism or whatever the song is about. So I happened to notice that David had posted on Facebook. He was discussing all the tracks as they were released at the time. Now, there was possible changes that could come on the final product, but he had gone over the track list and done his best to guess what each of the tracks was going to be about based on the song title alone, but of course also based on his knowledge of the band, and I think he has most of the albums by now. Like me, I think David also found out about Ningen Isu back in 2019 when there was this big promotion for their latest video, which was translated to English as Heartless Scat, but actually meant more like expressionless or without feeling, like emotionless, expressionless scat. And scat, this course of this being, of course, that vocalized singing that is no words, just well, as we know in the song, it was like a shabba dabba deo, shabba dabba deo. Well, anyway, sounds like I'm doing a Flintstones thing, and when I do it, you know the song, you know it's cool. So I saw David's post, I read it over quickly, and then I thought, let's go to Amazon and take a look, because it sounds like the album's already out, and of course, it wasn't yet, but I got the pre-order. And I pre-ordered the special copy that came with this enlarged artwork with the signatures of the band. So Suzuki Kenichi here, and Shinji Wajima here, and Nobu Nakamura here, where he just put Nobu drums and a little face picture there. So here's the album cover. I guess I'll show the CD too. There it is. But it's kind of easier to see on this enlarged version. And I remember David thinking the last track on the album is translated as Children of Light, or Children of the Light. And it does appear to be there's some human figure being lifted up towards the heavens by some beam of light. And perhaps this is the rapture, or perhaps this is, I don't know, some rapture equivalent in Buddhism, for all I know. However, when the whole image folds out, and maybe I'll fold that out for you now. Sorry, it's not that the whole image folds out. I was actually searching through the CD booklet, and there are all these illustrations of things with this little figure floating past. And I was wondering, where is the fold-out page? No, it's at the very end here. We can see the source of the light beam. Doesn't this actually remind you of Come Sail Away by Styx, where it starts off sounding like there are these angels coming down, and it ends up turning out to be a spaceship? It's kind of a little parallel there. Anyway, now since I've got the booklet out anyway, let me just flip through. There are different illustrations inside. Oh, how appropriate. This happens to be a song, I guess it's a kind of like Call of the Wild kind of song, and there's a wolf atop a mountain or something like that. Mahoroba, there's the figure going up into the clouds. Lyrics and illustrations inside the booklet. There's this little, figure of light cruising across a bunch of lotuses, an endless field of lotuses with some planet in the distance. Yeah, anyway, various illustrations inside, song lyrics, all that sort of thing. That's what's inside the booklet. So there's the CD. Now, I did actually go and check out what had been happening in the Facebook group because I don't visit Facebook so often these days. So I'd missed all the excitement, all the buzz that was leading up to this album's release. Lots of people posting about, oh, there was going to be the digital or streaming, whatever was going to be released at midnight on a specific day, and everybody was on standby and all excited. So I'm glad to see that there was still so much buzz about the band. Let me put this somewhere. Owie, excuse me. Let's put it up here for now. Makes a nice background scene there. This is Aoi Kanzeki from Demon Slayer. We'll set Aoi off to the side for now. Don't worry, girl, you can come back again later. Okay, so what about the album? Well, first of all, if you are a fan of the band, like I am for the last few years, this album does not disappoint. If you're a fan of the band even longer, probably it doesn't disappoint either. This is what Ningen Isu have been doing for the last 10 years ago. This is their more contemporary, heavy sound. It is a heavy rock, heavy metal sound that is based on, of course, you know, the classic bands, Black Sabbath, King Crimson, Budgie, Led Zeppelin, all that kind of thing. You know that the boys in Ningen Isu are fans of that 70s heavy rock, as well as some Kiss, you know, it's thrown in there as well. But this is what they've been doing the last little while, so it is pretty much all heavy stuff. They're great at writing heavy riffs. Of course, Shinji Wajima is doing some fantastic guitar solos. If you watch the video for the title track, Mahoroba, you will see him doing, in his guitar solo, what I would call the shamisen guitar solo. This is because the Japanese instrument, the shamisen, is fretless, and you can slide your fingers up and down like this when you're playing it. And Shinji Wajima does guitar solos where he does that technique. So if you ever see a video of him doing it, he'll be playing some guitar solo, and then he'll do this like whoosh, 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 a few times, which looks really strange because normally guitarists will do that kind of sweeping motion once as they go from the low end of the fretboard to the high end. But I mean, he plays it like this shamisen style where he slides his finger, and it's pretty cool that he can go from this fret to this fret like 3 or 4 times without missing it. So we get lots of great guitar solos on here, lots of great heavy riffs, and as usual, Shinji Wajima and Kenichi Suzuki are alternating who takes the lead vocal. And then, of course, Nobu Nakajima takes lead vocal on one of the tracks. So let's take a little walk over each of the tracks here. So the opening track is the title track, Mahoroba. There is a video where they are out in the mountains somewhere. They are in a ravine. There's a little mountain stream floating past, or a mountain, well, a creek anyway. Trees all around. There's some drone shots above. There's like scenes of mountain peaks in the clouds and them standing in the forest. I find like Kenichi Suzuki's expressions, where he's dressed in his monk robes and with his, you know, complete head makeup and everything. He looks like he is some figure that has emerged from hell and is trying to understand, what is all this green, lush scenery around me? What is all this life? I can't understand it. He has this look like, what is all this stuff? Amusing, I think. But anyway, it's a cool video, and it's a great song. And as usual, Ningen Isu have been opening their last 3 albums actually, with a kind of an epic piece, usually the longest or one of the 2 longest tracks on the album. Good song. You can see Shinji Wajima using 3 different guitars throughout the course of the video. Next one, Jigoku Saiban. That is Hell's Trial, basically. Jigoku being hell, Saiban being a court or a trial, so Hell's Trial. And that is Kenichi Suzuki sung 1. As you would expect from one of his tracks, it's a heavy track, and he's got his, you know, usual gruff singing style. Then we have actually one of the 3 tracks that are over 7 minutes long, Ashura Daio. This is, Daio is like the great king Ashura. And this is a very Buddhist themed song. You can hear certain lines from Buddhist chants being phrased, as well as certain things like, you know, putting your hands together, and lots of Buddhist imagery. In fact, in the last few years, I find over the last few albums, I find the Buddhist themes coming out stronger and stronger. I think it probably goes back to, I forgot the name of this album now. Around 2011, I think that's when I first started noticing the Buddhist themes showing up. Maybe they were there earlier, but I first started noticing them around here, and they've just been becoming more and more prevalent. Like there's 2, 3 songs, maybe 4 songs featuring Buddhist themes. And the themes that made them really popular in the beginning, these mystery suspense novel themes in their songs, they've been slowly fading away. So other themes like songs about hell and songs about space and these kinds of regular themes that show up on their albums, they're all here, and we'll get to those. So let's move on. Track number 4, Uchu Yokai. Uchu Yokai. That actually would be a good thing for a song, I think. But Uchu Yokai means space abduction. And every Ningen Isu album for the last, I don't know, most of them, since the late 90s anyway, seems to have, or maybe the early 2000s, seem to have at least one song related to space and aliens and UFOs and that sort of thing. And, you know, most of us who are fans of the band know the story, but anyone who doesn't know, Shinji Wajima believes when he was a high school student that he experienced an alien abduction. I'm not going to go into the details about it, but that has inspired so many of their songs where they sing about space and UFOs and aliens. And of course, these are always the songs that invite the use of the theremin, because theremin just goes so well with a space-themed song. So pretty much every one of their space-themed songs in the last 25 years has featured theremin. So, but it's a cool track. Let's see here. Track number, where are we at now anyway? Yes. So track number 5, Yasei Joto. This is interesting because, well, we saw the picture of the wolf. This is a song about retrieving your savage feelings or feelings of wildness. There are lines in the song. I want to read them out here. So Yasei is that is wildness. Wilderness, wildness, basically, wildness, yes. Yasei o torimodose. So take back the wildness. Yasei o kaese. Give back to me the wildness. Yasei o omoidase. Recall that wildness. Your wildness, perhaps. And then yasei o koe ni dase. Put the wildness in your voice. And then at the end, they all go, ow, howl, right? Anyway, I like it. You know, Shinji Wajima, he is a guy who likes to go out camping. Riding his motorcycle out somewhere and doing solo camping. So I think that is expressing that passion for wilderness, for being out in the wild. Yamagami is the next one, and that just means mountain gods, and this is another Kenichi Suzuki one. So again, a heavy track with the gruff vocals. All of these tracks are all really good, by the way. There's none of them that make me feel like, that's okay. These are all really good tracks. The whole album is just really great to listen to from start to finish. Ranai Ichidai Otoko. So this is sung by Nobu Nakajima, and I guess it means like the life of a passionate man. David translated as such, and I agree. It becomes immediate from the opening guitar riff. Like as soon as I heard that guitar riff, I knew, oh, Nobu's singing this one because it is a more higher toned guitar riff. The other two, their songs all have really heavy rock, heavy metal guitar riffs. Nobu Nakajima's songs usually have more of a hard rock sound to them, and that's what it is. Anyway, as usual, he also has that hard rock sound vocal style, so that works out really well. Bakacho Tosei, so this is one David translated as professional fool or professional idiot or something like that. So baka in Japanese means like, you know, fool or stupid. So Towa no Kane, also the kanji for Towa could also be read as an, but both of them mean eternity. So this is the bell of eternity. And this is an interesting one because this is the one song on the on the whole album that makes me think of their work from the 2000s. In the 2000s, they moved away from their more traditional like roots heavy metal sound or heavy progressive sound or even a bit of psychedelic sound, and they were going in a more kind of alternative rock or heavy alternative and a little bit more experimental than where they had been in the past. So this song reminds me of that. It is an acoustic song sung by Shinji Wajima. Features some, I thought it was a gong at the beginning. Maybe it's the Bell of Eternity. But the image I have, like, okay, so Shinji Wajima, if you know his vocal style, it is not your typical rock or metal vocal style. And if you look at his appearance with his kind of like classic novelist look from the Meiji period or late Edo period, you can almost imagine that he is a guy who actually was an author during those Meiji times, and a lot of the songs they've written were based on books written by authors of those days, right? Rashomon and so on. So if you look at his image, he looks like he is an author from the Meiji period who was then brought to our modern times. And then for this song, if you imagine that he listened to the Beatles or the Japanese band Kaguya Hime, and he decided, I really like this, so I want to sing a song like this. That's the image I get when I'm listening to his vocals on that song. He just sounds like somebody who is another profession first, maybe writer first, and singing is just something he likes to do. An interesting impression anyway, and an interesting song. I'm glad they put it on the album, because if it just been an album of just heavy rockin' tracks all the way through, I would think something's missing. So this Toa no Kane, the Bell of Eternity, I think it was important to put it on there. Let me see here. What did I write? I think, oh, that's right. Jueki Sakaba de Kampai. So this Jueki is tree sap. And Sakaba is what, like a drinking place. So I think David translated it as cheers or kampai at the Tree Sap Tavern, which I think is a good translation. So many of the recent Ningen Isu albums have included songs about an insect, and these songs are typically written by Kenichi Suzuki. Kenichi Suzuki used to write usually about 3 or 4 songs per album. And then back around, was it 2005? There was an album where he wrote 5 songs, and he later on was so disappointed with his songwriting that he decided he would only write 1 song per album after that. He does, of course, compose the music for almost half the songs, and he usually sings on those, but he asks Shinji Wajima to write the lyrics for those. But the insect songs on the last few albums have all been his. So this is, yeah, basically insects drinking it up from the tree sap of the trees. It's a fun song, though. It's a fun song. I like it. Kando no Rutsubo. Right. The Crucible of Emotion. So this is a Wajima track. This is a really good one, and I really like his guitar solo on this track. I feel there are a couple of moments it almost feels like he's going to do an Angus Young type of thing, an AC/DC type of thing. But then it suddenly changes into like a new wave of British heavy metal guitar solo with something else added to it. I'm really trying hard to place exactly what is in that guitar solo. Like, what was he listening to prior to coming up with that guitar solo? But it's one of, I think, at least 3 guitar solos that really catch my attention on this album. Akuma no Rakuen, Devil's Paradise, basically. That's also a really cool one. And then we finally go to Hikari no Hikari no Kodomo, which is just the Children of the Light, which is another big epic closer. So this album here, it's great. Very good sounding album, exactly what you would expect a Ningen Isu album to sound like. Now then, aside from saying it's a really great album, really enjoyable listen, there is something that I've noticed, and that is that on these last couple of albums here, what do we have? Kuraku and, I always forget the name of this one, Shikisoku Zeku. All 3 of these albums start and end with the longest tracks on the album. All of them are over 7 minutes long. So from Kuraku, we had Toshishun, which was 7 minutes and 49 seconds. That was also the lead single off the album with a video and sung by Shinji Wajima. From Shikisokuzeku, the opening track was Saraba Sekai, Goodbye World, which was 8 minutes and 15 seconds, sung by Shinji Wajima. And the opening track on this one here, Mahoroba, is 7 minutes 53 seconds, sung by Shinji Wajima, also a video and the lead single track off the album. And then all of the albums close with long songs, 7 minutes and 28 seconds, 7 minutes and 41 seconds, 7 minutes and 58 seconds with the, Hikari no Kodomo, the last one, Children of the Light. The only thing is that the latest album here has one other song that's over 7 minutes long. Otherwise, all the rest of the songs are typically between 4 minutes and something and 6 minutes and something, with usually one song being shorter than 4 minutes. Usually the song about insects. Also, the order of things. We always start with the Shinji Wajima lead vocal, going to Suzuki, Wajima, Suzuki, Wajima. And then when we get to the Nobu track, it's always Suzuki, Nobu Nakajima, Suzuki, and then going down and finishing with Shinji Wajima. So all of the albums have 13 songs, 6 sung by Shinji Wajima, 6 sung by Kenichi Suzuki, 1 sung by Nobu Nakajima. So there is that regular pattern. All of the albums have at least one space song that includes theremin in it. All of them have an insect song, as I said. All of them have a Nobu Nakajima-san song. So there is a similarity. And, in a way, you could consider these three as a kind of a trilogy. I did read some comments about the album. I think Shinji Wajima said that the last 3 albums have had this concept that the world is a filthy place. It's a dirty place. It's getting dirtier, and our use of or abuse of technology is leading to, we're being nasty. Our souls are being corrupted, kind of a thing. And I suppose that notion has been going around probably as long as we've had human societies. But that's the vibe going on, and that's what it's been dealt with on the last 3 albums, which is probably why there's been an increase in songs about Buddhist type themes or about pursuing love and spiritual purity. There's that message in some of the songs here. Anyway, let's just say that these 3 albums here, they all make a nice trilogy because they all follow a very similar formula and have a similar sound. For me, it's good, it's fine, but I know from this band's discography that they have gone through an evolution where every album brought something new, a new sound, a new style, a new effort, some new surprise song that you wouldn't have heard on any of the older albums. And that whole evolution continued up to somewhere around the end of the 2010s. I would still say Shinseinen was still a really good album, but from then on, the albums follow very much a similar style to that one, or possibly even the one before that. So a song like that, Eien no Kane, or Toa no Kane, is actually a surprise and a welcome surprise, exactly because it's something that harkens back to about 20 years earlier, and it's kind of nice to hear that coming into an album that is following a theme similar to the last 2 albums at least. Anyway, if you have no Ningen Isu albums in your collection, I'd like to say that you'd be perfectly fine to start with this one here. It is a great album that tells you exactly what the band is all about, certainly what they have been about for the last 10 years. If you only have a few Ningen Isu albums in your collection, this is a good addition to the collection. And if you are just, you have most of them and you want to know about getting the new one, sure, get it. It's good. It's what the band does and what they do really well. So that's it. This was, thinking about it for the last few weeks. What am I going to say? What am I going to do? And throwing it all together suddenly because I had time. Notes checked. That's good. Thank you everybody for watching. Leave your comments about what you think about this album if you've heard it. What are your thoughts? What are your experiences with the band? How did you find out about them? Were you one of the people who found out about them back in 2019? Are you a later comer? Are you an earlier fan? Whatever. Let me know in the comments. I respond to every comment because I usually get about 7 or 8 only anyway, so that makes it pretty easy. Thanks everyone for watching. Enjoy the music of Ningen Isu. Enjoy the album. See you in another video sometime in the near future. Cheers everyone. Oh, and I'll put links to you'll see some cards here and there with links to previous videos that I did on the band in case you want to know more. All right, I'm off. Ciao.